Shigeo is not your typical Japanese middle schooler, though he looks like one. In reality, he is a powerful Esper who goes by the nickname Mob. He's shy, socially awkward, and not always the brightest bulb, tending to be very naive and trusting. He also tends not to display many emotions, his psychic powers being directly related to his emotional state. Even though he is an extraordinarily overpowered Esper, he tends not to use his power, not wanting to rely on it for various reasons, like how he sees it as unnatural or weird and something that can't make him cool, but also because of a deep fear of his great power that lurks under the surface that, if he's not careful, could hurt those around him. Mob also does his best to round himself out as a person, joining a body improvement club to help with his low stamina and poor physical conditioning. His commitment to being a good person and improving himself is so endearing and shows the depth of his character. With the help of his master Reagan, he tries to understand the power within himself and how to fit into society, while Reagan, on the other hand, completely relies on Mob to take care of any real evil spirits they come across, as he's nothing but a two-bit con man, using Mob's powers to make a living as an exorcist. Mob just seems to go along with it all, eagerly accepting his measly pay of 300 yen an hour. Again, he's not the brightest bulb. Along the way, he runs into more Espers and people who try to lead him astray, people who push and challenge his ideals and his strength. With action that is at times badass and others completely ridiculous, the excitement grows and grows along with Mob. The series creator, One, is also known for his other popular series One Punch Man, which is also about an overpowered superhero named Saitama who outclasses all around him by being able to beat any kind of villain he goes against with one punch. It's a character archetype that One seems fascinated with, and in comparing and contrasting the two main characters, Saitama and Mob, you see many similarities in their description, but the difference in personality couldn't be any more stark. Saitama is immensely powerful, his strength leading to his life as a superhero and his journey for action being completely unfulfilling, as he can beat anything he comes across in one punch. This leads to him being comically underrated by those around him, as no one can really grasp the idea of such an unimpressive person being so powerful, and him slipping into a state of near constant boredom because he lacks any sort of challenge or motivation. Opposed to Mob, who is supremely strong but inexperienced. Saitama and Mob both seem to lack emotions, but for Mob, it is out of necessity. It's a way to control and manage the powers inside of him. This emotionless exterior is reflected in the title. The 100 refers to a constant meter inside Mob, a narrative tool that measures his emotional state, because it's kinda hard to read on the surface. As it builds, he grows closer and closer to releasing his emotions inside of him, and with them his powers, something that he is desperately trying to hold within himself. But what sets this anime apart from most others is the gradual change to Mob over the series. Like, take his membership in the Body Improvement Club, for my money, the best school club in all of anime. His physical ability lags far behind all other members. He can barely go on their jogs without passing out. But over time he improves himself, he never gives up, and each member of the club, these huge, buff, imposing men, always rooting for him and having his back no matter what. It's one of the purest forms of support and friendship because they can see Mob's commitment to improving himself. To Mob, his powers are a skill similar to how some people are good at playing music or making art. It can be impressive and there's a lot you can do with that skill, but relying on it for everything, even when that skill is godlike psychic powers, can't give you a fulfilling, satisfying life. The things that Mob craves the most, like muscles or the ability to socialize without seeming awkward, or just being able to talk to the girl he has a crush on, are things he has to work on for himself. It's about earning something for yourself instead of coasting on natural gifts that he did nothing to obtain outside of being born with them. So when he comes across many people with similar abilities to his own that believe that they deserve praise and admiration for the simple fact of them being so overwhelmingly powerful, it's up to Mob to stop them and show them how having psychic powers doesn't make you a better person than anyone else. Studio Bones, well known for a laundry list of great anime, did a remarkable job with this one. Frequently on this channel, when I want to talk about anime with great animation, I'll mention One's other series, One Punch Man, with its first season being handled by Studio Madhouse, which I think the Bones team looked at as a challenge because after One Punch Man was a huge hit, they got the ability to make Mob Psycho 100, and this series' animation is at that same level of excellence. The character designs have fairly thick black outlines and less detailed features for the faces in most scenes, which makes it look like more of a slice of life or gag anime. In a way that's perfect though, as it kind of has the soul of a gag anime. One of Mob Psycho's most important features is in its comedy, which is based a lot on physical humor and satirizing popular shonen anime tropes. Then there's its knock your socks off action, which uses a fusion of a lot of mixed media styles with so many highly detailed moments of animated bliss. With the bright, colorful kind of kaleidoscope effects of the psychic auras, and many inventive and ridiculous powers, Bones is able to bring out fast kinetic fights that rival its sibling series One Punch Man, and also come back to some of the best moments of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. One of my favorite little aspects is Mob's hair, which is usually this boring, geeky looking bowl cut that rises up and looks more like a typical shonen character whenever he gets serious. To see this from a character that is almost always so meek and peaceful just adds weight to the moment. It shows what potential Mob holds inside of him. That under all of insecurities lies a boy ready to do whatever he needs to do to help those he cares about most. To take someone who looks like a background character and show that, yeah, he's the protagonist of this story, even if he would never acknowledge that. There's so much more I could talk about here. I feel like I've barely touched on the wildly varied and deep cast of side characters. Reagan especially, as he's by far one of the standouts in this jam-packed cast. In a lot of ways, he reminds me of Onizuka from the series Great Teacher Onizuka, or GTO for short. They're both kind of lowlifes with hearts of gold that give you shockingly great life advice that you would never expect coming from them. I've got a whole video on GTO if you want to know more about that. It's another great series. If you really like that idea of a super powerful psychic in a slice of life and gag anime-like setting, then you'll really want to try out The Disastrous Life of Psyche K, which is about a powerful psychic named Psyche who has ridiculous abilities and powers. So ridiculous that the whole world around him just feels annoying. Psyche is in many ways the polar opposite of Mob, so it's interesting to see a different take on a similar premise. A really entertaining series. This one is absolutely cheating, but I'm mentioning One Punch Man again because their humor is so inescapably similar, as is their premise of having a completely overpowered protagonist. Both have intense kinetic action sequences and a well-rounded, deep cast of side characters. If you like One Punch Man, you're gonna like Mob Psycho 100, so just watch it already. Watching this anime will take you on a journey through Shigeo Kageyama's life. A journey about a boy who is in many ways incredibly lucky to be gifted with such powers, but who constantly struggles with his own limitations as a person. This anime is inspiring, it's beautiful, it's packed with exciting action and hilarious characters, and without a single doubt, Mob Psycho 100 is an anime you should watch.